relationship with the hiring manager, walking the halls, if you will, getting into the meetings. They are the communicator. They are like the navigator or the explorer, right? They're Magellan who's drawing the map and who's saying, by the way, there's a new world. They're the Christopher Columbus, right? They're looking and going, there's a land here, and this is what it looks like, and this is who is there, and this is what. And they come back to the old country, right? And they say, hear ye, this is what is happening over here. Right. And over in the new world, they need spices and sugar, but only, and everything, sugar and spice and everything nice. I mean, I don't know. This is what they do. That's a BDM's role for the most part, right? Going out and exploring, finding new business, relaying that back to the recruiters. Now, the recruiters, a lot of the times, if they have a good salesperson, will get to go with the salesperson and explore and talk through the process, ask the questions they need
because that's how they get better, and that's how they learn exactly what that person needs or that client needs.
Exactly. We've talked about this kind of on a different podcast. Like, you want to be able to smell it, right? You want to be able to see what's going on there. You want to know everything so you can sell that brand in that business. So if you're a hiring manager and you're not having your recruiters coming into your office to look at your office, how are they going to sell your brand? Look at your website? You know what I mean? That doesn't really make any sense, right? How are they going to be able to do that effectively? So a lot of the times what you get is you get these people who maybe they don't have a good salesperson or BDM relationship to a recruiter. And you were even talking about something like this a little bit earlier, and feel free to jump in whenever you want, but like, you get the job description, you send it to the recruiter starts to send to the BDM the stuff. Sometimes recruiters fall in love with the candidate. Yeah. Right? They get like, this is the best candidate in the world. I like him, he's good, he's got kids. Yeah, he really needs this.
Well, we fall in. Look, I get attached to things, whether it's right or not. It's human nature, right? But you have to separate yourself from what you like and what is right and what's the best fit. And to take a little bit of a step back, I came from a recruiter. I started as a recruiter, so I feel like I understand their perspective. So I try to gather, well, first of all, like Dino said, I try to bring as many recruiters to my clients as possible because it is invaluable. But I also try to get as much information about the job, the culture, the team, like what does the team like to do? What is the demographic breakup of your team? All these things so I can take back to the recruiters and talk. Now, a big problem that I see is, let's say I've talked about this in a meeting, right? Or maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm on the road and I put a new job in the system. And let's say it's a project manager. Okay, I put a new job in the system, and within 5 minutes, I have 5 project managers in my inbox. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem is, first of all, there's no way you could find all project managers are different. So to know and understand the specifics in that short amount of time, you just can't do it. What I do want is for a recruiter to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just saw your project manager role come out. Tell me the specifics about it, because it's going to be different from this one that we just worked, and it's going to be different. There's app dev project managers, there's infrastructure project managers, there's more business, focused project managers. You can't just send a project manager and expect it's going to be a fit for every role without having a frank discussion about what this position entails. And that's one of the biggest things I see right off the bat is, oh, we have a QA? Boom, got somebody for you. Do you? Because I haven't even told you about the role. How do you have somebody for me? Because this is a very unique. They need Selenium, they need Cucumber, and they need some protractor testing because they're testing an Angular website. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, okay, so you don't have somebody for me, and it's just taking the time to educate yourself, and everything is not the same as everything else.
When I used to work at Aerotech back in the day, like one of my first recruiting jobs, they would always have this joke where someone would be like, I got a guy.
Yeah, I think it's a joke everywhere. Oh, do you? Okay. Well,
oh, you got a guy? Cool.
Yeah.
Really?
I got lots of guys sitting around. Doesn't mean they're a good fit for this,
That's like the big thing that you always have all the time. So I think it's just the psychology. I think it's the environment. I think it's the old industry. The pressure that goes down. But then, the big complaint, a lot of times the people don't complain too much about this, though. They don't complain about what we just talked about. They don't see it, maybe. They don't break it down and analyze it as much as we have, the psychology and the DNA to it. A lot of people have the issues with the email spammers, the overseas outsourced recruiters,
Right.
right? Emailing about anything and everything. They're spamming you, right? Like you're getting a spam message.
Right. You're not bringing value if I get an email and you list 26 different skill sets that you can bring to the table. Okay, well, how does that help me right this minute with this need that I'm really struggling with? It doesn't do anything.
So they don't like that. I mean, you have a bunch of a million different types of things. I saw a guy post something on LinkedIn saying, people like recruiters a lot more if you call them back. If a recruiter will call you back, if you applied to a job, are you using the headphones?
I'm checking out some headphones.
We got all this technology right now, man. I'll tell you. I want to take a picture. Can I take a picture of you right now?
Yeah, do it.
With this monkey. Ryan's wearing the headphones, and what
face is he making?
He's smiling like a monkey smiles.
Well,
like a really big smile, like the crazy logo. There you go.
Okay.
There it is. So I like it. So give me some headphones, and we'll be good to go.
Well,
so
I see. I wanted some, so I bought some. So it's pretty simple.
But I want some.
Exactly. So
buy me some.
Get on that.
Yeah, cool story, bro. I'm gonna get some Beats by Dre ones, and you're gonna be really upset.
Those are overrated.
So what was I talking about?
Monkeys. I don't remember.
Why are you so distracting? Anyway, so going back. Oh, the overseas recruiting. So you have, you've got these people who come in, and they're spamming. They're sending a ton of stuff. My wife always complains all the time about these recruiters who call her about jobs that are outside of the state or outside of her driving distance because they don't have a map. Apparently, they're calling people for they have data warehouse in their resumes. So they're calling them about a warehouse supervisor job or something like that, right? You have all these types of. I think I talked about this before a little bit on a call, but this is in essence the same thing. Oh, the guy says, "Why don't you call people back?" If recruiters will call candidates back, it's so easy. If a candidate applies to a job, you should call them as a recruiter. Well, that's not an option, and I'm sorry. And I know it sounds cool to say it. I know you got 300 likes on LinkedIn because you said it, because everyone's more power to you. But it's a thing in the world, and I'm gonna break this down. I mean, it might sound like I'm quoting something from Interstellar, starring Matthew McConaughey here, but it's called time. And that is something recruiters don't have the luxury of a lot, right? They don't have the ability to call everyone and have some wasteful conversation. Like, how about this? Putting the pressure on a recruiter might be one thing. However, why don't you just not apply to a job you're not a fit for?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, call me crazy, put a little responsibility in your pocket.
And I'm not against stretching a little bit out of your wheelhouse. Maybe you're a senior developer and you're applying for an architect role. I can understand that. But I literally have pizza delivery guys that apply for Python developers, and I'm like, you don't have any IT in your background. Yeah, it sounded cool. Did it sound cool? Well, stick to delivering pizzas, buddy, because you have no idea what you're even talking about, and it happens all the time. I tend to not deal with a lot of those people anymore. I mean, when you start off, it's kind of what you have to build your network up and weed those people out.
I just went on, and I rarely remove connections on LinkedIn. Okay, I rarely do. But back when I was at
because we have a competition on who has more, so losing one. I know. Yeah, no.
I got the please enter an email connection today when I was trying to reach out to somebody.
You've reached the threshold.
You'd think that everyone would be like, oh, the guy from the podcast, the Book on Recruiting podcast, I totally want to accept this guy, but not the case. So, yeah, it doesn't always.
Okay, time out. Yeah. This goes back to what we first started talking about. When someone tries to link in with me on LinkedIn, that's nice. Connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't want to add them for whatever reason. I just don't hit the check button. Okay.
We talked about
we talked about this before. It's the same concept. Some people go out of their way to say, give you the middle finger and say, I don't know this person. So it chalks it up to one more one click closer to me getting banned for a little bit because of that. You know what? I'm not going to do that to somebody. Just there's two options. There's a check or an X, or just ignore it so that you don't jeopardize that person. But even if you hit that X, you have to go out of your way to really say, I don't know this person, and I want it to score negatively against their tally of,
Yeah, no, seriously, people do it all the time. I got it today. It's fine. I don't care. My feelings aren't hurt. But you hear a lot of these different things. These people talking about what else? What some of the other topics that people say? Oh, I don't like this because this recruiter. Oh, you know what? Here, I talked to a guy today. Great guy, and he listens. Thank you for listening. I talked to you today on the phone. You know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but he's an IT manager. He's an infrastructure manager. And I'm hiring a corporate recruiter right now for a customer of mine, like an IT corporate recruiter. And he goes, hey, would I be a good fit for this? And I like this guy a lot. He's got a great background. He's a really cool guy. I mean, probably making $100,000 a year as a, like an IT manager at a smaller company. I didn't think offhand he was, but I wanted to have a good conversation with him because I already know him, and I think he would be really good. And he was asking like, hey, what would be, and I told him, I go, hey, look, man, I think guys like you should be the kind of people who are getting more into the recruiting industry because you already have that knowledge. Like, you have the technical knowledge to be able to step in and then be able to do it. I said, but you also have to be slightly sadistic. And there's a whole, I said, when I said, here are a couple companies that you can go to that will train you to be a recruiter, right? And I think I've referenced these on another podcast. If you're an avid podcast listener where you download every episode and listen to it, maybe you'll call me out on this. But you have these feeder companies, right? I call them feeder companies because they're a great place to find new talent that has been trained. They have exceptional training programs, right? So I said, hey, here's a couple really good places to look at. They will train you. But in the recruiting training process, there's two things that you're going to learn, or two kind of thought pools. I guess you could call them school of thought, but I prefer thought pool in this one. You're going to have this is how you recruit. This is the things, the steps you need to follow in order to be successful to provide your customers with the best available talent. Here are the ways to schedule follow-ups, to schedule networking, to conduct a coffee, to conduct an interview. Here's all this kind of stuff. You're going to find out if a candidate is qualified, interested, and available, right? They have to be QIA. There's all these little things, acronyms and stuff like that, right? But then there's the other pool. There's the other thought pool, and it's the kind of military. It's the military mental breakdown, right?
Tear you down before they build you back up.
Tear you down before
or never
they build you
up.
up. Because, my friends, you are about to embark on one of the most emotionally difficult career choices you could ever have. It truly is. When you have to hit somebody with news like, hey, I know the customer said they were going to make you an offer.
And you quit your other job and sold your home.
Already went through the drug test, the background. You've sent them your prior pay stubs, all this kind of stuff. But they just hired somebody else in between. And I know you already quit your job, but you don't have the job anymore. So enjoy driving Uber until you get a new job. I'm out. See ya. Right?
Yeah.
Like those types of things.
And then you dealing with not getting the money that you thought was a done deal, too. So it
That's
affects you
also
in both ways.
That's also that, right? You're now out financially in that type of environment. So again, you go back, and we talked about this before. We'll talk about a lot of things multiple times, but you're like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be able to take that vacation I wanted, or maybe pay that bill, put off on that student loan that I wanted to do, or something like that. So there's that mental aspect. So I kind of had this conversation with them today. I told them to kind of give him a little honesty, a little candor in where he was looking to go. But at the same time, hey man, I'm all for it because I love seeing somebody like you get into this business. Go get trained on somebody else's dime and then give me a call and then I'll hire you. You know what I mean? If you can do it because you already have that technical knowledge, right? So, but he told me a story. He goes, hey, I just came from an environment where I had a bad recruiter because I was telling him about the idea of the podcast we're going to do today. And he goes, I had a really bad recruiter experience, and what ended up happening was they sold me the wrong bill of goods. Right? They sold me something in a job that was not